there in Texas. But anyway, he was sentenced for a minimum of 9 years in prison and a maximum of 33 years. So he's reached his minimum, and according to some insiders, they're saying that the Juice, or O.J. Warville, wherever you want to call him, has been a model inmate. He hasn't gotten in any trouble, hasn't gone to the hold, or hasn't gone to the shoe. If you watch Orange is the New Black, he hasn't gone to the shoe. I don't know, maybe it's just called the shoe in women's prison there, but you'd have to know the show. Orthel James, by the way, is OJ. Thank you. That's his proper birth name. Orthel James. And Orthel James Simpson shot to fame in the 70s with the Buffalo Bills, if you didn't know that, and he won the Heisman Trophy as a running back at the University of Southern California. And he retired back in 79. He was in some movies, numerous movies, actually. Went on to become an advertising pitchman and an actor in The Towering Inferno. Remember that? That was a pretty good movie. I actually liked The Towering Inferno. And then The Naked Gun. And then in 94, we had Simpson's wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and Ron Goldman, her friend, were stabbed to death outside her Los Angeles home. And he got acquitted. Unbelievable. People know that he was guilty of sin. But Simpson was subsequently found liable for the deaths in the 97 civil suit and was ordered to pay damages, though, totaling $33.5 million to the families of the victims. Simpson has been out of the limelight, though, behind bars, frustrated for 9 years because just trying to get his stuff back in his own words. I didn't do anything wrong, and it was amazing. He paid the damages. And boy, karma has a nice way of coming back. A lot of people said, man, he got exactly what he got coming to him. A lot of people don't want him getting out. But I tell you, if he's healthy, and he's 70 years old, and he's a healthy 70-year-old, there's a lot of healthy 70-year-olds out there. If he does get paroled, I can tell you what, that guy's going to make even more money. One of the biggest reasons, from what I understand, he gets a lifetime pension from the NFL, a lifetime pension. So he's got a lot of money, 9 years, and then for the rest of his life, and then all the TV interviews, there's going to be a book deal, there's going to be a movie, he'll probably star in something else. So this guy got away with, but 9 years, man. Wow. 9 years in the pokey. I don't know what he would be like. I think he suffers from brain damage, personally. You ever watch that movie Concussion with Will Smith? A lot of NFL ball players been knocked to the head so many times. A lot of them admit it. They forget things. They don't know things they do. They black out. And then don't drink alcohol on top of that. Then they really don't know what they're doing. I just think he was definitely out of his mind, and he needs to be institutionalized and watched for the rest of his life if he gets out. I guess the guy's unstable. But anyways, there's a name. That's what's happening with OJ. I guess we'll find out Thursday, and, we'll be talking about it on For the People, because that story, people still talk about it. I mean, it captivated us. I still remember the Bronco back in the 90s. Remember that? And there was an uptick. Do you realize that? The people wanted to have that same Bronco, that same white Bronco that OJ was trying to, remember that police chase? So they were just following around for hours at a time. Remember that? People, yeah, I guess it was a rental car or something like that. And then they were going to use a tagline. And a lot of the late night TV shows, people said, when you got time to kill. I don't know if it was Avis Budget or I don't know if it was national or whatever, but people got that same vehicle because it was that popular. I guess it looked sexy on TV. Sick. And 2 people died tragically. Guy pays out money. I remember what Chuck told me. He says in this country, a lot of times, especially during O.J. Simpson, that the amount of justice is what you can afford. If you got some money on you, you can get away with even murder in our country. A lot of people just shook their heads, but then he's been in the pokey for 9 years. I think that's karma. By the way, were you a big fan of Little House on the Prairie? I know that stuff was huge in the 80s. People just loved watching Little House on the Prairie. Well, the cabin recreated in Kansas in 1977 on the original Ingalls family site is now deteriorating and is expected soon to get a makeover, which is kind of good. The current cabin was recreated and built near Independence during the peak of popularity of the television series based on Laura Ingalls Wilder's book centered on her childhood. Wilder spent a year with her family as the Kansas site in 1869, according to the Associated Press, the Wichita Eagle, as saying. And anyway, they're trying to clean that cabin up. There's reports that more than 20,000 people visit the site each year. But with the current cabin dropping and logs weakening, its interior is barred from the public for safety reasons. They say we get people coming here just to see the site because their child has read the book. We want them to experience the prairie. And about $30,000 has been raised to rebuild the cabin, but the owners need nearly $20,000 more to help pay skilled craftsmen to actually repair things. Now we're hoping to get craftsmen who are knowledgeable on building cabins. And after that, we're hoping we will have volunteers who are knowledgeable of Kansas history, and we have strong backs to lift logs. So if you're looking for a gig there, you may want to go online and see what you can do to help out the Ingalls farm. But man, that was quality TV, man. I mean, that was Michael Landon. Yeah. Wasn't there Highway to Heaven? He did another show after that was very popular, and then he died of cancer. But man, he played a lot of roles. But man, very influential, and it's really sad. You can watch a lot of that stuff still on the Hallmark Channel. A lot of those TV shows, but man, very wholesome stuff, man. Good stuff. You don't see that anymore. And I used to kind of think to myself now as a kid, when I was a kid, when my grandfather would say stuff like when he was watching John Wayne, he goes, "Now that's TV. Now that's quality." And now I understand as I get older, and then I think back and the reasons why people say the things they do, because you think about Little House in the Prairie, and you think about some of the stuff that you can watch on Netflix. You think that's Little House on the Prairie? No. People don't blush anymore. That's unfortunate. I'm serious. The blush factor is dissipated greatly. People don't blush anymore. What is that? Desensitization. They get desensitized. They see this stuff over and over. Them images. It's been proven by scientists and by psychiatrists that it does. Ask Ted Bundy and pornography. It really does. I know that's stretching it, but there's some truth. We'll be back.
We'll help you survive this thing called life. We're for the people, for the people, for the people is there.
Hi, I'm Mike Lennington, CEO of Wounded Warrior Project. I'm humbled to announce a major milestone in service to our nation's wounded warriors, their families, and caregivers. Wounded Warrior Project registered our 100,000th warrior, who will now have access to our free, life-changing programs and services. This milestone clearly demonstrates that the needs of our nation's warriors are great and growing, and it's more important than ever for us to stand behind them in their recovery and rehabilitation. We are as humbled and honored to serve the 100,000th warrior as we were to serve our very first warrior, Mr. Brian Bean. Brian.
I would like to personally thank those of you who supported me and thousands of other warriors and their families through Wounded Warrior Project over the past 14 years. The impact of your efforts will be felt for decades to come. On behalf of everyone here, thank you.
Some things in life need a little attention. Like a plant. If not watered, it begins to turn brown. But if watered properly, its leaves turn green again. Like a plant, For the People needs watering too. Your thoughtfulness provides sustainability for us to grow and reach our full potential. You see, For the People depends on you to broadcast this program to help inform and educate folks so you can make a difference right where you are. Grab your watering can and join us as we endeavor to make a difference in people's lives each and every day. To donate, go to forthepeopleshow.com. That's forthepeopleshow.com. Just look for the watering can and water as much as you can. At For the People, our garden is full of opportunities, and planting something allows others to enjoy the benefits. At For the People, our mission is simple. Give you the news that matters with good old-fashioned common sense, mixed with a conservative point of view. Simply log on to our website at forthepeopleshow.com. Get ready, get set for 123 Ready TV, the brand new app that everyone's talking about for your PC or Android device that allows you access to most every movie or TV show ever made. Sound incredible? Well, it is, because once you pay $19.99, that's all you pay. Just the movies and TV shows you like without the hassle. The internet streams everything already. What 123 Ready does is it finds them, then delivers them directly to you, commercial-free. There's nothing quite like it, and it's available now at forthepeopleshow.com. That's forthepeopleshow.com. And before you buy 123 Ready TV, watch the video and see how simple it is to start watching all those movies and TV shows. If you like movies and TV shows, but don't enjoy paying for all of them, no problem. Just pay $19.99 and start enjoying countless titles and entertaining TV better than anyone. Get your 123 Ready TV for $19.99 at forthepeopleshow.com. Just click on the store page.
Keith Allen and For the People. Let me ask you, are you trying to lose weight? Do you drink diet soda? Something in the late 90s, or maybe it's the mid-90s if I'm kind of thinking back. It was mid-90s, like 94, 95, that I remember a lady who did a health show. Her name was Sally Bowers, and she did a broadcast, Your Health and You. And she was friends with my dad, and she was talking about, artificial sweeteners and things like that. And really the takeaway that I got back then was, don't use artificial sweeteners, saccharin, equal, things like that, Sweet and Low. That was big back then, that's before the Splenda, before the Stevia, Truvia, before those days. And her recommendation was clear that you were better off with table sugar. And there's evidence that really still coincides with what she says, and I'm reading a report right now that was put out by Newsmax, and the writer, Clyde Hughes, which basically says a new artificial sweetener study is linking its use to possible long-term weight gain. Now, maybe you've heard about that, and an increased risk of a score of other problems. And what those are? Obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart disease. Now, this study was led by researchers from Canada's University, Manitoba, and then published from the Canadian Medical Association Journal, and it's showing new data, including that certain artificial sweeteners may have negative effects on such things as metabolism, gut bacteria, that's right, gut bacteria, and appetite. Now, researchers are cautioning, though, that the evidence was conflicting. Researchers, they completed a review of 37 studies that followed more than 400,000 people. I'd say it's a pretty big number of folks here, 400,000 people, for an average of 10 years. 7 of the studies were randomized, controlled trials involving 1,003 people followed for an average of 6 months. And despite the fact that millions of individuals routinely consume artificial sweeteners, relatively few patients have been included in clinical trials of these products. This is according to Ryan Zarachansky, a study author at the university. He says, we found that the data from clinical trials do not clearly support the intended benefits of artificial sweeteners for weight management. So Time Magazine, interesting, says that the study echoed other studies that have suggested that sugar substitutes have little bearing on helping people lose weight. And the reason being, folks, as I've read on and to try to find out